Thanks. A lot of history, a lot of food for thought. Even though I was around, there are some things that you mentioned that I was not very aware of. One thing that stuck in my mind, I don't know if other people have the same feeling, is there seem to be all these blockages now. And for me, what are the mechanisms required to move these blocks that are there right now? We talked about personalities and so on, but what are the mechanisms to move these blocks? I don't have any answer, but at this point in time, thank you very much for opening up all those ideas for us. And the floor is open to anybody, to continue the discussion. I'll give you this mic. If you could just identify yourself, please.
Van Stewart. I mean, what the chairman said just now seems to me to be at the basis of everything, in the sense that there's no point having laws, if you want to call them laws or regulations, and people are able to transgress those easily. It seems to me also that the reason for everything that we have now is that political parties who win elections, their point of view is that, they have a perceived need to dominate the business of the nation from every point of view, and also to win the next election. Because that is the philosophy, although the philosophy has been now expressed as serve the people and government for the people. But the question is, if you want that done, there will have to be certain measures to see that the people in authority and in government enforce that or follow that. The question is how. Now, part of the reason why I think we are in the mess is that we always have this thing where the head of government not merely wants power for his party, but that head of government usually collects, corrals, and all that power within himself. With the result that that philosophy or that attitude spreads down to the people, where the minister in each ministry also not merely assumes the power or has the power, but he has that aura that the people themselves confer upon that minister the kind of power or authority which he may not really have, but which enables him to dominate everything. Then from the top, you have the head determining who is going to be an MP, who will be a minister, and then I'm not quite sure myself to what extent this goes with the selection of councillors. I think that the councillors are selected very much, their selection is influenced or determined by the ruler of the party and by the ministers concerned. If that is so, it seems to me that the way to get rid of that kind of hold on the people, which eventually prevents them from imposing themselves on the decisions of the regional corporations, is by having the people themselves in each constituency fully, without interference from senior people in the party, deciding whom they will want for election, for their call. In other words, let the party group and the constituency party group, let them decide who will be, and they'll have to be without interference from the leaders. But of course that's going to be a thing, because if you want the leaders not to be able to interfere, you have to put some stop against them. Like something like, once you interfere in that kind of business, you, whether it be the leader or senior person, you are going to be either disenfranchised for such a time or whatever it is. But strategies have to be devised to get the people to have the power to decide who are their leaders in the constituency, and to then the people as a whole will, working on that, be freer to suggest and to decide what should be done within the constituency. If this is not done, or something like that is not done, then it seems to me the minister will always be able to decide everything, and the party, or who controls the party from on top, will be able to decide everything.
Thank you.